The regular season has concluded, and it is time to get ready for the playoffs. Welcome to this very special edition of the American Association Whiparound. It's the playoff preview Whiparound, and the season concluded yesterday on Labor Day. We had a great full slate of action, but we're going to get ready for the playoffs. The first round begins tomorrow night. We cannot wait to see who takes home the Miles Wolff Cup trophy. It's going to be a thrilling ride over these next few weeks. But let's wrap up the regular season. We're not going to show highlights from yesterday's games. No playoff races were on the line. Just a great day of baseball. But we're going to wrap up the final scores of the final series, the stat category leaders from this season, as well as preview the playoff bracket and Wednesday night's playoff schedule. So let's get into it. Here are your final scores from Monday afternoon. All of these series were 4-game series to end the season, with the exception of Sioux City and Chicago, a 5-game set with a doubleheader, which Chicago won 4-1. All 5 other series ended 3-1 in favor of Fargo-Moorhead, Gary South Shore, Lincoln, Kansas City, and Sioux Falls. And here are your final division standings at the end of the 2023 regular season. You see Milwaukee and Chicago ended up in a tie record-wise in the East Division. The second straight year, Chicago's been at the top of the East in a tie, but Milwaukee has the tiebreaker over the Dogs, so they, of course, clinched the division. And Cleveland and Lake Country also ended up in a tie for 4th place, but the Railroaders won the tiebreaker with the head-to-head. And in the West, of course, Kansas City clinched the league's best record at 59-40, but it was very tightly packed between 2nd and 4th. Sioux City and Sioux Falls ended up in a tie, but the Explorers won the tiebreaker due to division record, and Fargo-Moorhead just a game behind them as well. Let's look at the stat category leaders for this season now that it has come to a close. On the ERA side, Kevin McGovern, the 11-year vet, wins the ERA title with a 3.11 line. Strikeouts, Solomon Bates led the way for a strong majority of the season. He finishes with 124. And we have a tie for the wins category. Milwaukee's Gregory Vasquez and Winnipeg's Landon Barraza finish with 11 wins apiece. And offensively, batting average champion for the second year in a row is Brian Torres of the Milwaukee Milkmen with a 370 clip. On the home runs, Jose Sermo, despite going to the Mexican League for a few weeks during the season, he finishes atop the league with 28 home runs. What a season it was for him. And we had another tie for the runs batted in category. Both Chris Herman and Josh Altman finished with 88 on the season. Now let's look at the playoff bracket and get you ready for tomorrow night. So the 1 seeds in the East and West made their choices. The Monarchs chose to play the Sioux Falls Canaries, and the Milkmen chose to play the Kane County Cougars. So that means the other matchups, Sioux City is going to take on Fargo-Moorhead in the West, and Chicago is going to take on the Cleveland Railroaders in the East Division. The division series in the first round is a 3-game set, as well as the championship series in the second round. And then the Miles Wolff Cup final is a best-of-5 battle. And every playoff team will be in action tomorrow night. So here is the schedule. Sioux City goes to Fargo-Moorhead at 6:30 p.m. Kansas City goes to Sioux Falls, and Kane County goes to Milwaukee. Those both get underway at 6:35. And Chicago making the trip down south to Cleveland. That game gets underway at 7:06. And an interesting note, Milwaukee, of course, has the home field advantage as the 1 seed, but they have to concede that to Kane County due to the Savannah Bananas World Tour taking place at Franklin Field this weekend. So a Game 2 and potential Game 3 of that set will take place in Kane County. So an interesting note and something interesting to watch in that series, but absolutely cannot wait for the playoffs to get underway tomorrow night, and you can watch it all at aabaseball.tv, or you can get your tickets through the AA Baseball app or at aabaseball.com. I'm Yeazel for the American Association, where we play to win.